Hello and welcome to the Van Eupen Arena. I'm Patrick Bratin and I'm delighted to bring you the second in our new monthly roundup show, the Motorman Monthly Roundup Show for December 2021. We look back at December and look forward to January. Coming up on today's show, we look back at the month of December around the football club with interviews from the manager, Mick McGraa, coach Joe Heath, our youth team coaches, and introduce our new series, Teammates, this week with Kieran Napper. We also speak to former Motors goalkeeper and current Vauxhall's committee member Steve Hilton as we analyse the month just gone and the ambitions in the new year for the club. The Motormen started the month with 3 games postponed on the bounce, with an away game against Prestwich Hayes postponed before 1874 Northwich, members of the Northern Premier League, were scheduled to visit the Van Eupen Arena in the Cheshire Senior Cup. But once again, the game was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Next, the Motormen were meant to visit Winsford United, away from home, but once again, the game was postponed due to the bad weather. The postponed fixtures against Winsford United and 1874 Northwich are set to be played in January ahead of our Macron Cup tie. Next up, the rearranged fixture against Prestwich Hayes arrived, but a night to forget in Greater Manchester for the Motormen saw McGraa's side crumble to 3-0 down, before a great free kick from Michael Berhe sailed into the top corner, which only proved to be a consolation with the Motormen heading into a tough game at home to Wythenshawe Town. A massive performance sent the Motormen into Christmas with a massive win over High Flyers Wythenshawe Town, who beat Motors 5-0 earlier on in the season. Goals from Ben Holmes, Kieran Napper and Joe Heath sent the Motormen cruising to a 3-0 win at the Van Eupen Arena. Take a look below at the match highlights. An away trip which ended a stunner finished 2021 in style, as the Motormen visited Congleton Town away, hoping to get revenge from when the Bears visited the Van Eupen Arena earlier this season, where they came out with a 1-0 win in a tight fixture. Goals from Kieran Napper and Leo Riley secured a 2-0 win for Motors to see us into the new year. We caught up with the boss, Mick McGraa, after the match against Congleton to hear his thoughts on the situation regarding COVID and the month of December.
What are your thoughts on playing Congleton away on Bank Holiday?
I've got a few thoughts on it, to be honest. I mean, Bank Holidays are meant to be for obviously making money for clubs, and we've had 2 away games on both Bank Holidays this season. I just think it's wrong. But, you know, usually over Christmas you're playing local sides. We were travelling an hour and 15 minutes for an away game on basically Boxing Day. I don't think it's right, but hopefully the league will change it next season.
What are your thoughts on the COVID situation amongst the squad?
Well, obviously if you look at the team we've had today, we've had 13 players. Got 5 with COVID, 2 who were really ill. The league have put an email out to say if you've got 13 players you can play. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. I mean, where's like the player welfare in the league? You know, it's irrelevant that we won today. And the lads were brilliant. You know, I'm scrambling around on Boxing Day trying to make sure we've got 13 players because the league have said it. And then you'll see today teams are getting games pulled up because of COVID. Where does it stop? Where do we get any help? We need help. You know, we've had COVID for 2 years, and at the end of the day, why have the league not come up with a better solution and telling us if we've got 13 players we can play? It's not good enough, and that's another thing that the league have to look at, because you know today we're on our knees today. You know, we're struggling, and you know the lads have been brilliant today.
And 2 consecutive wins to finish December. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, special, innit? We played two teams who score every week.
Welcome to the first episode of our new series, Teammates, amongst the Vauxhall Motors FC squad, with forward Kieran Napper.
My name is Kieran Napper and this is Teammates.
Who is most likely to become a manager?
Joey.
Most likely to be late for training?
Definitely Joe Brandon, even though he's the closest.
Most likely to forget the sweets on a match day?
Berkey.
Who's the best dressed?
Probably have to give that to me, yeah.
Who's the worst dressed?
That's a tough one. I don't know, you know. I'll give it to Joey.
Who's the changing rooms DJ?
Well, it's meant to be Wayno, but it's terrible, so it could be anyone.
Who's the dancer?
Mikey Dixon. Defo.
Who's the hard one?
Don't want to blow smoke up anyone's arse. I'll give it Berkey.
Who's the one who thinks he's the hard one?
Joey.
Who's the manager's pet?
Definitely Berkey.
Who's the best at FIFA?
I couldn't tell you, I don't play FIFA. I'd have to guess. Let's just say Leo.
Who do you think's the worst at FIFA?
Probably me.
And who's the leader?
Mitchell.
There you go, done. In between these games, there's been lots of games going on around the club. And this week, our News Around the Club section focuses on our Vauxhall Cavaliers under-11s. We spoke to the young Motors boss Mark to give some updates about his side.
My name's Mark Millwood, coach for the under-11s Cavaliers, age group coordinator as well, help out with the other coaches. I've probably been around the club now for about 11 years.
How's your team been doing?
They're doing really well. I've had this group now, core group, for about since they were 4 or 5 years of age. Added players as we've gone along, but predominantly the core group has stayed together. They're merging into a really, really good team now. Come along, developing, working together as a team and building to become really good mates.
Have you got a highlight of 2021?
I would probably say reaching the JPL National Cup final in London back in the summer. So we qualified as Northern champions, beating a team from Doncaster over in Yorkshire, and then the following week we played down in London. Unfortunately, we never won, but the boys gave a really good account of themselves on the day.
What was that experience like going down to London?
Expensive. No, it was really good. It was nice for the lads to get away and play together and bonding. As you say, we had to stay over in hotels, so it's not an opportunity really that they get to do that together often. So it was good, really good.
What are your ambitions as a team for 2022?
Just to carry on developing really. The football that they play, they're a high level team for their age. Really, really advanced. They work together well as a team, so I'd say just keep progressing, keep building. As I say, some of the football that they play for their age is outstanding, so it's just to keep building on that really, and just keep pushing themselves to try and progress and get better every week.
What do you think they can achieve?
The aim is that they should be able to get back to that national final definitely again this season, and looking at the way they've played and the teams that we've come up against, there's no reason why they can't do that again. The league that they're playing in, the Junior Premier League, there's some really, really good teams like Stockport County, Northwich Victoria, Oldham Athletic, AFC Fylde, so it's a really high standard, but the boys are more than capable of coming up against them teams and giving a good account of themselves.
Get to the final and win.
Well, you never know, do you? You never know. We've got to go one step further, but yeah, that is the aim for them, and they're more than capable of doing it. But the main thing is that they just keep progressing and keep playing, keep working hard, and just keep learning, and hopefully they'll get their end reward.
Can you talk us through your tournament from yesterday's Vauxhall Motors tournament?
Yeah, so we played in the under-11s age group yesterday, which was quite nice really, because it's not often that we play against grassroots team in this area, especially with us playing in the JPL league. We were all over the northwest region, so it was good to play in that. But the boys did well yesterday. They haven't played for 2.5 weeks now, so with the Christmas period, so it was good just to get another run out again. They did really well, probably weren't at the best, but as I say, they haven't played for about 2.5 weeks, but they ended up winning the Champions Cup, the top one, and the most impressive thing, they didn't concede a goal all day.
Burning off all those Christmas dinners.
Yes, there was definitely one or two, but yeah, no, they did well overall. They gave a really good account of themselves against some decent teams as well.
Massive month ahead for McGraa's side. 5 scheduled games, including 2 home games and 3 away, with 4 out of the 5 being league fixtures and 1 being in the Macron Cup. The first game is when Lower Breck visit the Wirral to face Vauxhalls on the 8th of January, as the Motormen look to open the new year with a win. The first away trip of the year sees the Motors visit Burscough, before Ashton Athletic visit the Van Eupen Arena, who are quite the exciting opponents when Vauxhalls visited Brocksteed Park earlier in the season, with the Motormen running out 5-4 winners in a spectacular game which had it all: ghost goals, comebacks, 9 goals and so much more. The final game of the month is when Vauxhalls visit the Marine Travel Arena, home of FA Cup giant killers last season, Marine AFC, as we face AFC Liverpool in the return fixture of the game which opened the season, where AFC came out 2-1 winners at the Van Eupen Arena, where a Joe Heath header put the Motormen 1-0 up in the first half, but it wasn't good enough to get all 3 points. Also in this month, there are many rearranged games to be added in here. For any games postponed this month, and the Winsford United and the Cheshire Senior Cup fixture against 1874 Northwich games, which need to be played from December. Also, Macron Cup fixtures must be played, where the Motormen will visit West Didsbury and Chorlton in the first round, and if they progress, will host either Camel Laird 1907 or Stockport Town in the second round, which both must be played by the end of the month. Next up, we had a chat with committee member and former Motors goalkeeper Steve Hilton. But before that, we spoke to coach Joe Heath about how big the month ahead is and how big it can be in terms of pushing us up the Premier Division table. A good month, 2 wins and 2 clean sheets. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, performances have picked up lately. You know, it's easy to get in a rut when you're losing games. It's easy to go on a run when you're winning games as well. They've really picked up lately. They've been working hard in training. We've changed the way we play a little bit, and it seems to have worked the last 2 games.
The defence has really picked up too, with 2 clean sheets.
Yeah, you know, it's been a difficult one with the defence this season. We haven't really been able, through injuries and lads being away, to keep the same back 4 all season. But lately it seems to be settling down a little bit. I've come back from injury, played left back. We've tried side there the last 2 games, that seems to have worked. And then Greg come in on Monday at Congleton and done a really good job at left back.
Kieran Napa got 2 goals in 2 games, so good month for him. What do you think of his performances?
Napa is a really good player. He's got so much pace and ability. He just needs to learn how to use it in the right way, which he's starting to do. And it's starting to show on the pitch because he's getting his rewards through his goals.
How is he coping with all the match postponements?
It's always difficult keeping lads fit. You know, lads work, and you know, when we haven't got them here 2 and 3 times a week, it's hard to keep up with their fitness. But they do little bits away from the ground, and they do little 5Ks and put them in the group. But yeah, you know, we seem to have come through it okay because we've had the 2 wins from the postponement, so we're happy with it.
A lot of games coming up with all the rearranged fixtures.
Yeah, we've got you know, a long 3 months now because, like I said last time, we are in a little bit of a relegation battle. Then 2 wins have helped us out a lot, but you know, it can easily turn back the other way, which we don't want it to do.
How do you reflect on 2021?
It's been a learning curve, definitely, for myself and Mick. You know, first time as a management team in this league. You know, it's getting to grips with every team in this league on the day can beat anybody. So you have to be clued in, you have to be at it for 90 minutes, you know, and that shows in games we've gone 2-0 up and we've lost 3-2 3 or 4 times this season, and that's purely down to underestimating the league, thinking the game's won at 2-0. But you know, we seem to have got to grips with that now, and hopefully we can push on and climb as high up the table as we can.
So what are you hoping to achieve in 2022 to aim higher up the table?
Yeah, definitely. It's got to be the aim, you know, finish as high in the table as we can, and start strengthening the squad, ready for next season. You know, and again, push on next season.
So Steve, talk to us about Vauxhall's first half of the season. What have you made of it?
I think it's been a bit of the good, the bad and the ugly, to be honest with you. It was great to have football back. You know, I was over from pre-season, had a lot of training sessions, so it was great to, you know, the past couple of seasons when we should have got promoted. It was great to see football back, and you know, he rightly got promoted to the Premier Division, even though the lad probably missed out on medals and whatever. But we got that promotion. But yeah, I think it's been a 5 or 6 months of a mixed bag. Some good, some bad, some really ugly, like I say. So yeah, it's you know, from the start, you know, we lost Crumpy in goal. He left after the game, and then we straight into the FA Cup. Could have won that, lost the replay. We went on the run, and then we went on the worst run. So yeah, it's we've, you know, a few away games where we haven't travelled very well. Winshaw for one, Skem away. But I think it's been tough. I mean, you know, you've got Macclesfield throwing a lot of money at it at the moment. You've got Skelmersdale, who I think are doing well because of the home pitch. I don't think it's the greatest artificial. But you got teams paying a lot of money. Obviously, COVID still knocking around and whatever, injuries, we've had a few injuries. But there's been some high points where, you know, Runcorn away when I went to that one. We had a man sent off in the first half, but we battled away, got a 2-2 draw. So there's been some good, but like I say, there's been some indifferent. But hopefully the last 2 results have, you know, shown a bit of positivity for the 2022.
Just talking about having football back, it could only be a good thing for everyone, can't it?
Yeah, well, we had 2 seasons, didn't we? So we started the first one, that didn't finish, then second one started late, that didn't finish. We got promotion and we won the league outright. But sort of awarded us the title, they took it off us and none avoided it. But luckily, they had a restructure, so we got that promotion to the Premier League, the Premier Division in North West Counties. But yeah, it's just great to have it back. You know, there's only so much Premier League you can watch with no crowds. So we're getting back to the non-league where there's proper tackles going in and proper passion, and you know, it was great to have it back.
Just want to touch on Macclesfield. Do you think the publicity that has all generated in the last year or so, do you think it's been all positive?
You know, I played in this league 20 odd years ago, and it was a bit of a similar situation. So we had Workington in our league. They threw a lot of money at it, similar to Macclesfield, and we finished second behind them. He'd signed Paul Stewart, ex-England, Liverpool and Tottenham player. He was on ridiculous money. You were getting good gates. I think Macclesfield's probably a you know, bigger team than that. Well, obviously, it's a bigger club. You know, you're going up against a team that, you know, the weekend you got 4,500 fans paying, say, £10 a head. With the food, the programs, and the, you know, the drink sales, they're probably turning £50,000-60,000 a home game. You know, it's very, very hard to compete against teams like that in this league. I think it's good from a point where they'll come to our ground and we'll make a few quid off the you know, the sales and whatever. It's probably a bit of a false position for them, but it is what it is. You know, by all accounts, I didn't go to the Macclesfield game away, but by what I've heard off the lads, the committee, we were really unlucky to come away with nothing out that game. But I think whilst there's a team like that in the league, it's going to be hard to compete. Just the financial clout they've got. But I mean, I've got no doubt they'll go up this season. But it's just a bit of an unlevel playing field. But I think it's a good experience for lads to go there and play in front of big crowds. Like you say, it's just a bit of a false economy, if you ask myself.
Have you got a particular highlight of 2021 or in the first half of the season?
Particular highlights. Because I went to the Runcorn game away that got abandoned. It was a Tuesday night, and I went to the replay. And like I say, I think it was Joe Brandon got sent off the first 20 minutes or so. We were 2-0 down. It was a great comeback. The lads, they dug in. Mick McGraa made a few changes. We dug in. I think one was an injury, and Heath and Goldbone come on. And it was just a gritty, determined performance, and we should have won it. We had a chance in the last minute where we could have easily won that game. That type of performance I love, because your back's against the walls, but you know, your personality and your team bonding and stuff like that comes through. And you know, like I say, we were unlucky to not to get, you know, at least 3 points on that game, but to come away with a draw, being down to 10 men for so long was it's just great hard work. So that was a good. I enjoyed that game, even though it was absolutely freezing, blowing a gale. But to get something out of it was they're night to fall.
So looking ahead now into January, there's a lot of rearranged fixtures, so there's a lot of games coming up. What are your thoughts on the month ahead?
I think we'll, like you say, the last two games, we've got 2 clean sheets. The Congleton game on the 27th of December was a great 2-0 win by all accounts. I think we've just got to keep that momentum going. Disappointing to go out the Vars, because that's one tournament in this league that you want to stay in as long as you can. You know, Wembley at the end of it, but we went out that early. We struggled in the league. That month, November, we really struggled. But I think just get momentum now, finish as high as we can, and we'll go into next season then. But you know, that's the main thing. Just get as many points on the board. I don't think we're in any danger of relegation. I think we've pulled a bit clear now, but it's just to get that momentum. And it must be hard for Mick McGraa as well. You know, being no football for 2 years, trying to sign players and getting the team he wants as well. We've had, like I say, a few suspensions, a few injuries as well. So it's getting that balance. And I think he said on the undefeated night he's made a few changes and it's worked for us. So fingers crossed, may that continue.
What do you think the team can achieve for the second half of the season?
I think we can go on a run. I think, you know, we'll prove that, you know, we'll beat Scammerdale, we'll beat Congleton away, you've done a job as on at home. I think we can go on a bit of a run. I think, you know, we've got Macclesfield coming to our place. It'd be great to get 3 points off them. There'll be a big crowd there. Go on a run, see where we finish. You know, get in the top half of the table, cement that, you know, top half finish, and then, like I say, we go again next season.
Tell us about one new signing that the club made in the summer and what impact you think they've had on the club.
I like Heath and Goldbone. I know his dad, Ronnie, actually. I used to play with him years ago, but he come in and he just looks composed for a young lad, a fullback. I know he was a Tranmere, so obviously he's been coached well, but I like his composure. When he come on against Runcorn, personally, I think he changed the game. You know, his passing, you know, he always finds a man, he's composed. So I like to see a bit more going forward with him.
And is there anyone that you could say is your one to watch for 2022?
One to watch? Me changing the team that many times. So I mean, I like Hayden Cooper in midfield. He does all the doggy work. You know, I like his attitude. We never say die attitude. He's very similar to a player that played with us 20 years ago called Carl Nesbitt. He does all the dirty stuff. He does it well. He's got a goal in him as well. But his attitude on the pitch, we have a bit of a moan, but his attitude on the pitch is outstanding.
That's it from us today. Thank you for watching. We will see you in just under a month's time, with the next episode being released on the 1st of February 2022. I've been your host, Patrick Bratin. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.